there's so many uh there's so many issues that I could talk about, like even shopping, like being discriminated. Well, I guess in the States it would be like shopping while you're black, while in Canada and for the indigenous community here in Canada it would be shopping while indigenous. And I've seen family members, like I've even had it happen to myself, with the result was pretty crucial and pretty bad. But because I'm indigenous, I wasn't able to get justice, or sure, they made some changes, but for that certain thing it will never be the same. And I am doing something about it now. It took me a while after the fact that everything happened, and now I'm speaking out, and I gave myself there goes my dog. So yeah, I'm just doing like a subtle smoky eye. I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit more because I don't want it like too much, because I want this to showcase. But um yeah, it's pretty bad that it's gotten to where society, and for somebody to, you know, even go shopping. Like, I love shopping. One of the reasons why I don't shop is because of the discrimination, and because I'm indigenous, so that must mean I'm jobless, I'm lazy, I'm, sitting on my butt doing nothing, or whatever, you know what I mean? And that society blatantly has continued to attack and oppress indigenous people. Okay, this isn't not turning out. It's not as dark as I wanted it. So I'm gonna go in with my black. Um, you know, had I had lighter skin or whatever it is. But I kind of made a business out of trying products, trying different services, seeing if services and businesses are actually honorable in their agreements. So, you know, me first before them, because it happened to me. Now my shell's a little bit harder, so, you know, they implemented sensitivity training into the community. They get a better understanding, but a lot of people are just stuck and they don't want to learn. They don't want to see what really happened. But it's all over the news now, like what really happened with the residential schools, with the Siouxeet scoop, and now which is evolved into CFS. It's to separate, assimilate, and now there's a reoccurring cycle amongst the indigenous community, because the separation within families has been divided generations over generations, and it's time to implement new supports and services to keep families together and to break barriers down that once kept families apart, and to put supports into place so parents don't have to, they can parent. It's sad that that's happened, but it is what it is, and it is what it was, and now they're trying to rectify everything that's happened. How do you fix 100 years of oppression and genocidal tendencies, change society's views on the past, the present, and the future. Ultimately, everything that stems down, you see, like, a high percentage of indigenous people have addictions. A high percentage of indigenous people have mental health issues. A high percentage of indigenous people are homeless. And those are statistical rates that are pretty sad in Canada based on historical events that led us to those statistics. And until people actually learn the history, they don't have no clue of what they're talking about. And they took from one rich nation and turned other people who were already self-sufficient into needing whatever it was that they had, that they took for them. Colonialism, genocidal tendency, and this is what we're left with, the generational effects. Unfortunately, we have missing and murdered women. A high percentage of kids that are in care, which I want to say something on that also, because that's what Trump is doing with the familia down south, with the deportation and the kids that are going to be left behind as American citizens. What do you think? They're going to end up in care or some shit, so they can get that extra money. And people say I don't know what I'm talking about. It's been happening. They've been fucking separating and dividing for political reasons, also as financial gain, which is utterly and utmost not right. But it happens, and it's still happening. It's scary. I need to eat after this. But yeah, that's Canada. That's the historical effects for generations. That's what happens. This is the end result of what you get when you separate families and meddle in natural affairs of human nature. You don't do that. There's some things that you just don't meddle with. Okay, and this is ColourPop. What is it in? Bianca. And this is just like a little sample size I bought, I think, last summer. And I'm just going to top it off with this L'Oreal Perpetual Peach. And there we go. See, yeah, that liquid liner, it was supposed to be like white, but it didn't show up. So yeah, this is what I'm... So this is my look today. I got these little studs on with they have like rhinestones, and they're very, very pretty. I'm gonna see if I can zoom it in just a little so you guys can get a better look. See, aren't they pretty? I got these from like a giveaway section, so yeah. Sorry I had to get like deep on this one, but you know, it is a common occurrence. It is still happening, and as an indigenous mother, sister, kunshi, auntie, relative, I have to say something because, you know, everybody needs to know what's going on to our women, to our men, to our children. And this is something that I think a lot of people are fighting every day now. So if you see somebody dealing with addiction, just know that that's generational trauma. You know, not everybody had silver spoons, not everybody had their way paid for them. Ultimately, you know, everything has its purpose. Everybody has their purpose. And it's unfortunate that a lot of our people have to deal with these issues now, that they have trauma issues, which is evident in society today with alcoholism, the homelessness, the addiction, the the self abuse that people suffer, and it's really real. So if you like this, I'm sorry to get so political, but I needed to say something because it's a part of society as well as the indigenous community. If a lot of people and my viewers are not aware, I wanted to share this and speak out and just let you know what is really going on and why. I'm, you know, this is my voice, my opinion. These are issues that are in today's society, and I needed to say something because it hits home. I think every indigenous family and community member has some sort of trauma just from being indigenous. And it's unfortunate, that we have to deal with what we deal. The discrimination, the hate, the abuse, the slander. This comes with being indigenous. I, I was so blind to it, and now I see what it really is, what's really going on, and did my research and still doing my research. So others don't be victimized, and I have a better understanding of historical events now, and people dealing with trauma and the stuff that comes with trauma and different scenarios and situations along the road, that it can be turned around, whether we have the manpower or the willpower. Ultimately, it's up to the individual. That's their journey, and that's about it. All I have to say to that. I'll share some links of me personally finding some of these issues. If you're interested, I did some advocacy out in the community for about 7 years regarding CFS, which is still ongoing for a lot of families. But yeah, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll talk to you next week, maybe sooner. Everybody have an awesome week. Live, love, and laugh, and learn. Bye.